My name is Kin, and today we're going to finish construction of the coal power plant. We'll also be discussing manifolds versus load balancing, and my do's and don'ts for liquid that will help you avoid issues in your factories. Enjoy! How are we going to move the coal in? We go under and back up. Let's just do that. Not get too fancy. How many we got on each side of that? Well, that's 8. Perfect. And do that. I wonder if that still works in 1.0. Well, we're gonna find out. I don't have ceiling. Awesome, sync it up. Print our loverly tickets. Yes. Okay, we're gonna... Already in the cart, bye. All right, we got 4 left. What are we gonna get?
As Fixit amply demonstrates, you can never have too much management.
Gross and gross. Do not use the. Well, okay, listen. These were broken in update 8. So I don't know if these are broken in 1.0. And to be honest with you, I don't feel like finding out for myself. I just don't like using them and I don't need them today. So we're not going to build them today. However, I do really like the clean pipeline look. So we're going to add that to the cart. So we have 3 left. 3 left. Can we afford? Oh, God, I want one of these really bad. Doing it. I want to see what this looks like. Oh. It's so shiny. We're doing it. We're building a chrome. We're building it out, chrome. Maybe the chrome factory. And what we're gonna do, standard, fix it. Why? Because I want to play with the new shiny chrome piece. Even though this is like the cheapest and least cool one. You know, I freaking said I wasn't gonna spend a bunch of time beautifying these factories. And then I really just can't help myself. Can I? But we're playing with the chrome thing. It'll be fine. All right, what are we doing? How are we fixing this? Oh, this is where we got off onto the wrong foot. I needed that just so that I could get those belts looking nicer. Then we got the chrome, and now we're painting. See, this is what happens to me. Those built chrome, right? Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah. I think we're ready to do this. I'll show you guys how I like to do the pipes here in a second. So I have some rules with fluids, okay? You know, I already talked to you about a couple of them. And that's no... $15 per, right? So we get 4. The first 4 of 8 could be Mark 1. No floor holes and no wall holes. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I have to do Mark 2. But not on these. Another thing that I always try to do is build a gravity feed. Wow, we're out of iron plates. All right, let's head back to base. What we could really think about here is I wonder how far from zipline we are. I'd really like the zipline. How long do you think it's going to take to finish the space elevator? So a normal person playing the game, it's hard to say exactly, but I'm gonna probably get 1,000 hours to 1,500 hours, and I probably won't finish the game until that long, because I'm gonna take my time and build some fun stuff. For me, it's gonna be about the journey before destination. We don't have enough Caterium yet. I don't want that zip line, you guys. I really want the zip line. We're gonna squirrel for the zip line. We need 100 quick wire and 50 of that. Let's go mine some.
Witness a single strand of the tapestry. We hum a simple melody into the effigy, yet we hear no harmony. It covers the temple in bones and organs and limbs, yet ignores our bleeding wounds. Scripture is needed. Consume.
A familiar pattern is emerging in your brain. Please assess yourself for signs of concussion. If necessary, a replacement pioneer will be dispatched. Work must continue. Replacement delivery schedule estimate. Error, years.
Where are we? Is that covered? Oh, you dirty, dirty dogs. That's okay. I can, wait. I think we don't need to mine this with a miner. We just need the portable guy. He works just fine. We are making Caterium ingots right now. We want the zip line and anything else we can grab out of the Caterium line while we are over here playing games.
Research completed. Quickwire recipe unlocked. New Caterium research available. Zipline unlocked. When equipped, the zipline facilitates travel along power lines, regardless of whether the line is powered. Note: based on previous Pioneer events, Fixit recommends not using ziplines during thunderstorms and typhoons, or while drinking coffee.
Yeah, right.
New Caterium research options available. Congratulations on finding this metal. Many Fixit initiatives will benefit from Caterium's applicability in advanced engineering. Also, it is probably not sentient, and so unlikely to feel pain as we exploit it.
All right. Come to me, zipline. Oh, it's so good. Okay. We're ready to go. We're ready to get back to work. Let's go. trying to hop around them. The autosave didn't help. That was a mess, but fun. GG, bro. GG. Okay, so now let's think a little bit about pipe work. I'll show you guys what I like to do. So first thing we're gonna do, here's a tip. So if you look at the toolbar on the bottom, your quick access for all of your various things that you build, you can actually change that to up to 10 bars. So if you hold Alt and you roll your mouse, now I've got a fresh, clean bar. So what I like to do is the first two are the same on every level, which is a power pole for 1 and a wire for 2. Kind of keeps my brain working because in the sense where my muscle memory doesn't change for power, because no matter what type of material you're working with, you still need power. So I like putting those two there. And then I like putting the equivalent of what I have in the first toolbar, but a pipe version in the second toolbar. So we have your belts, right? So if you go here to logistics, what I do is I put in the pipe for 3. If you look at 4, it's support, and that's what this is. So if we roll back up, and then I go 4 for support, perfect. And then the next is gonna be kind of odd things. So we can pick up that, you know, and I don't know, that's probably it. We don't have the stackers yet. Or we have it for belts, but not for pipes. So that's probably fine for now. But this will give me a toolbar to use to build pipes. Now, one of the things I started to talk about, then I got distracted, shocker, not shocked, is I like to build, in order to increase the chances of fluid working well without any problems, I do 3 main things. The first is I never use pipe floor holes or wall holes. Just don't do it. Wall supports are fine, but no pipe holes or wall holes, and no valves if you can at all help it, because they do weird things and they don't always work. The second thing that I do is that I make sure when I'm ever using a pump that I don't lock the pump on where the game tells me to lock the pump. Again, this may be fixed in 1.0, but with update 8, it was not quite low enough when you locked to that blue line, and we'll see that soon. And then finally, I always try to gravity feed and top down feed. And so I think what I want to do here, remember, we're going to build, let's build him for reference. Fluid buffers. It's not enough space here. It's not enough space to work. I was gonna try to put it in the middle. I thought it would look cool. But nope. We're not gonna do it. We're gonna do it on the end. Little water tower on the end. Alright, so we need 4. I'll worry about the water for those other guys later. All right, and now it's time for
Fix-it pipelines can contain any fluid, including the water necessary for coal-powered generators. Note: water does not flow upwards by itself. While water extractors provide some lift, to truly defy gravity, consider the use of pipeline pumps.
We really need to do 4 at once, but that's okay. You can chop this 1, 2, 3, 4. So, I'm hitting Control to lock it, and then I'm going to put a little angle. And Auto 2D is our friend. Okay, I realize this is all one big pipe, and remember we're going to do 1 pipe to 4 guys, so we can break it now. All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Break it. All right, so here's our little sets, right? And they're discrete. We went to a lot of trouble in the design. What's happened here? These off. Yep. Like somebody's off. I think we're off all the way down. Yeah, that doesn't work. Which means we have to either go up, which I am probably gonna do, or we would have to go out. If we're there, let's go there. What is your problem? Noodle can't even save us? Noodle can't even save us. We go straight down. All right, we can do this. Either we raised it up 1. All right. Except I'm just gonna have to eyeball things, which is not my favorite thing to do. Oh, and then we're working with water, so let's make a water swatch. Wow, you can make these shiny too. You can make the color. Wow, you guys, it's a big deal. Pipes. We can tell what matte looks like. Oh, light. That was shiny. That's matte. Yeah. Definitely. That's great. That's really cool. We're gonna be able to do a lot. Yep. I like that a lot. So that's a nice way to do that. Okay. So what I did is it will lock if I rotate it towards. And then what I'm doing is getting my cursor to where when I hit control, it doesn't really wiggle. And then rolling it down. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's get this guy locked in place. I mean, problem is they're kind of clippy. Well, I don't like how that clips. And you know my rule. You don't like it, delete it. So, what's our position? We need to come out 1. Okay, we were here, now we're there. And I live with this. I don't know that I can. So I'm not going to. Okay, we're gonna go with this. It locks. Don't have to screw around. And we gotta move on. This is what happens, guys. Sometimes I get bogged down. Sometimes I get bogged down. 1, 2. Let's weld that together by doing this and then deleting these and rebuilding one between those. Then there's no pipe break to cause funky issues. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's place you. Then delete. What if we lined these up a lot better? I think we're really close on this, you guys. We just got to make it come together. Yeah. Okay, that's all fine and dandy. What about the next guy? And the one after that? I think we have to come out for that. So theoretically, you'd have to come out 2, right? You would go 1, 2. 2 is a very important number with Satisfactory. When you want right-hand curves and stuff. And everybody moves in. Is that what we would do? Okay, how about you go to the one on the end? Why is it doing that? Can you come up one? Light. Oh, I want some nice looking pipes here. That's my problem. Stupid. Stupid, stupid, stupid. All right. You look good? Yes, you look good. All right. Put you right underneath your friend. And you're gonna go in right there. The next one is gonna be 2 more down, except we're basically out of space. Ugh, ugh, blug, blug, blug. What if we... Boop. Boop. What do we look like? What do we look like? We like that. works. Been playing for 4 hours. Yeah, I have been. Shut up. I'll be fine. Gucci made me do. Fix it. All right. It's not perfect, but I'm happy with it. It looks kind of cool. And then we're gonna do this one the opposite direction, right? Which means that we need to put the water pumps. Oh my God. We'll do the opposite direction, right? From the other side, or the other 16 whenever we get to it. But not today. Okay. So these are all gravity fed from these water pumps or water storage. How much coal? So here's the plan. 16 coal gens, 240 coal per minute, and 720 total water needed per minute. And we're actually going to break it into 8 gens. We're actually going to do 8 extractors, 2 per pipe. Okay, and then total pipes 4 for the 16. And then phase 2 will be basically a doubling when we get Mark II miners. All right, let's find the depth of our. Well, we need 2 things, right? We need the floater that we walk on. Creature's in the way. Doggo. Sims the steel doggo, come on. Get out of there. My way. Okay, so big trick coming up. Okay, guys. There is a depth, and it's under the water a certain amount. Can't tell you exactly where it is. We have to experiment a little bit. We're about to do that right now. See, we're building under the water, right there, those foundations. And then what we do is we take a water extractor and we try to build there. Come out. Be safe. And we see if he locks himself in. He's not. See how he's smooth? He'll build anywhere. Now he'll build. He's building anywhere. So this is not what we want. So let's come up. So now I've come up 1 meter. We only have to do this once. See this? See now how he's locking? Okay. So now we have control over him. Can't be nudged, fine. But he is locking. And where do we want him? We want him just off of the foundation here. And just inside the wall. Okay. We work really hard to place the first one, and then everybody else goes in easy because we can use the first one as a reference. So let's see what we got. We could do some overclocking later. How much do we need per pipe? Pull up in the plan. So another reason why I like writing stuff down. Per pipe 180. We get to 180. Can with 1. How much more power is this really costing us? 20. I mean, they're 20. They're just 20, right? Yeah, they're 20. So there's a way to look that up. I don't think it's that much. And then we don't have to build anymore. Okay, we're done. That's worth it to me. Even though we're a little short on shards. Well, no, we're not, because we only need 4 for now. Okay, all right, I like this. We don't have any wall. We didn't get the pipe wall support. Oh, that has 2 in it. Dang it. I thought it was just the wall hole. It has the wall support in it too. We need that. I think we need that to do this job. Let's run back and throw some smart plates in the burner. Yeah, this is gonna be good. We're doing this. We are getting some things out of the way. We're getting that. I'm not getting floor holes. Anything else? Any must-haves? Yeah, we need some architecture. Where's these modern catwalks? I'm okay without a roof. Metal pillar set. I wanted a pillar. I had nothing. And these are absolutely necessary. Okay. Nice. 4 left to spend. Half. Foundation. Okay.
Where would we be without foundations? Probably a bit lower.
Hilarious. Hitting G. We're doing some parachute work here. Needed that straight wall as a reference. All right, now. One, two, three, 4. Okay. So I'm just gonna get all 4 of these onto this foundation. That's all. And the other 4 are gonna go the other direction later. All right, we got it. One, 2. Okay, you're gonna be here. You're gonna be 1, 2. You're gonna be, where are you? right here. You're gonna be 1, 2. No feet left behind. That's my rule. Okay. Houston, we have a problem. Okay. So the main concepts here are that I've simplified the liquid at the cost of some power, but it's not that much power. So we're just doing 1 into 1, and then each pipe goes into 4 coal plants. And it'll give it exactly the amount of water that it needs. Now, the part that we complicated is basically we made a water tower up there. Let me get up there so we can see it. All the pipes are hooked up. All we have to do now is hook up the hook in the coal and hook up the power to everything. All the coal plants, everything. I detest feeding machines from underneath. It's begging for trouble, okay? You're gonna hate yourself. It's much better to just take the time and feed from above. What do I mean by feeding from above? And this goes for any liquid into any machine, okay? Feeding from above is that the liquid is up high and then it goes down into the machine where you want it to go. And the reason is because pipes fill up bottom first. And so if we were to just pump this up, one pipe, pump straight up into here, right? And then we split them, it's, as soon as the water enters here, remember, it fills up bottom to top first, okay? And so it's like water is draining out of the generators. Gravity's fighting us. What we want is gravity to help us. Okay, we want the water to drop into the generators. We don't want the water to pour out of the generators into the pipes, okay? Because basically that's what happens. You know, some water gets in and gets used, but it doesn't work very well. Even if there's head lift into it, causes problems. So instead, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pre-run the head lift up into there, and then they're gonna drop in. Now, for as simple as a project that this is, did I really need to do this? Probably not. Okay, it's one pipe into 4 splits. It's not that big of a deal. But mostly this is about testing a concept of fluid. And that concept is that we want to, drop into machines, feed from the top, not feed from the bottom. And we want to establish pre-head lift, and I like doing it with fluid buffers. Technically, the fluid buffers are not needed, but I do like having them there. Now, the rule is that we're going to get them up into the fluid buffer, the water. We're going to use pumps to do it. But once it leaves the fluid buffer, we cannot put a pump on there or a valve because that will reset the head lift that we've established. Now, again, there's not that much head lift between this and this. And we're only going down. That's the other thing. I'm not going down and then back up. Okay. So if we did, reset the head lift, it's probably not that big of a deal because we're not ever going back up again. But I've done very much more complicated setups where once we established a high head lift and then we went way down and then we came way back up again with no extra pumps because the head lift was established over here. Does that make sense? And so mostly this is probably unnecessary with this small of a project, but it's more about good practice with fluids, okay? Because if you run into a problem feeding water into your coal plants, you are going to have a major problem when you go to do oil, because oil is this times 10, okay? So we gotta make sure that we know the fundamentals of not so much how fluid works, but at least the do's and the don'ts of how to minimize problems. Now, these are mostly my rules, but these are rules that I've used to great success on extremely complicated projects. Okay, I mean, I spent 6 months building a factory. Okay, we're gonna spend, you know, less than 6 hours building this. We're gonna spend like 4 hours on this, right? This is nothing, right? This is a warm up, right? So I've literally spent 200 hours on a factory. And if we mess this up, it's no big deal. Even if we had to start over, okay, we lost 3-4 hours. Imagine messing up a factory that you've been working on for 150 or 200 hours. Okay, so we need to make sure that we understand the fundamentals and practice them early when they're easy, so that we have them in place and we don't do anything dumb later, like throwing valves on and resetting head lift and all the mistakes that I've made when I was in my other save. Does that make sense? So that's kind of why we're doing this. You know, there's a few things I probably should have done different. I should have made sure that I had enough height on these that I could drop them all in, like boom, 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 right? That would look nice and slick. Instead, I kind of had to take this last one and go behind and drop it in. But you know, it's fine. It's fine. This is our little baby first. This is baby's first coal plant. Let's start running power hookups. This guy's gonna clip. Can we do anything about it? Anything reasonable? We just eat it. I think we eat it and we call it okay. Okay, here is the next thing I want to talk about in making sure that you don't... Our head lift is right here. Okay, machines have how much head lift coming out of them? Just so that we know. Water extractor. They'll say how much head lift it has coming out of it. I want to say 10 meters. 10 meters. A water extractor provides a head lift of 10 meters. Okay, so we've got a head lift right out the gate of roughly 2.5 walls. Okay, right there. I don't really like dealing with that. My preference is to give ourselves some head lift where we know, and I feel like more pumps don't skimp on your pumps. Okay, they don't cost that much power. It's going to cost you more time in the long run. So what I like to do is right before the turn, I like to pop one. Maybe a control, they lock. Whoops. Oh my gosh, Becky, look at her butt. It is so big. All right, so now we've got a head lift that we can see. We don't have to guess, oh, it's 2.5 foundations. Well, where the hell is that? I've got one there, and now we have an established head lift. You might be tempted to say, oh, look, you just do that and it snaps right to it. Should be fine. Now, maybe it is fine in 1.0. And maybe it would be fine most of the time in 1.0, just like it was fine most of the time in Update 8. But I cannot tell you how many times where I've done this, and then I've had to go back, and I can't figure out why the water isn't getting where it needs to go. And it would have just been a hell of a lot easier if instead of locking there, I just went like this. So that's what I've started doing, okay? I undershoot the head lift. Doesn't have to be by a lot, just to make sure. Okay, it says it's going there, but it's a liar. You're a liar. And then all I'm doing right here is I'm spinning it so that the electricity outlet was facing the center. You know, mostly because I thought it was cool. Well, the electricity nodes are in the center. The wire nodes are in the center. Now, in theory, as long as we have water in these bins up here, these industrial fluid buffers, then we have water guaranteed to go into the fuel generator. Okay, so far so good. So let's hook up the power to our friends. I think we're gonna go with this. Oops. All right, now, another tip. Hey, it says no power. Hey, any other machine, except for a fuel generator, it says no power like that. So this no power here, this doesn't mean that you're not connected to the network like it would be for any other machine. It means that it's not creating its own power, okay? You can tell that you're connected to the network because we can see the network lines behind the no power sign, right? You can see production, capacity, consumption, right? You're on the network because you can see the network stats. 1, 2. Should be a little something like this. Let's see if this is gonna work. Oh yeah, it does. Oh, I love this thing. It's perfect. Slid right in, right where I wanted him. Now, when we build this belt, supposedly, remember we need Mark II, and more than that, we need, yep. And yep, we're all out of our friends. But supposedly, you should just be able to hit. It keeps wanting to. Oh, if I take it off straight, maybe? I'm on default. Yeah, I don't like how it's popping around when you hold control. Somebody was like, oh, if you want it straight, just hold control. Well, look what the hell it's doing. I hold control. Oh, I'm not sure what's going on with that. But I do like this. Right? I know exactly. It's holding it straight even when I take it off to the edge there. See? And now I know exactly where straight is. So I can bring her in. Guess that forces it to be straight. Or it's really easy for me to see the turn. Can't be off by like 1. So this is really nice. Bean. Not in the mood today. Bad Bean, don't touch. I mean, I don't even have to hit control. Oh, okay. As long as I'm close, control locks you to... I'm tapping control here. Boop. If I'm closer to this way, control does something else. But as long as I'm close, control will work and straighten it up. Really nice. I've spent so much time trying to get belts straight. Okay, that's our coal. Everything is in. So let's watch her turn on. Now it is set up in a manifold. So if you don't know, we talk about in the sort of the Satisfactory language, we have kind of 2 ways to load a line of machines. And that is that you can manifold or load balance. there's a little bit of a problem. Load balance can mean multiple things, but when you're talking about load balancing versus manifolding, basically the idea is either one long line of machines with one belt, and then it splits. So what's gonna happen here is, it's already happening here, okay? 120 per minute is coming in right there. What a splitter does is it splits it evenly. So 60 per minute goes into this machine, and 60 per minute goes down that belt, okay? Well, the problem, of course, is that we need more coal to go down the line, okay? But what happens is that this first machine gets full. See how it's at 12? Oh, also, we have an error somewhere. It's right here. Well, it's one of several errors. Okay, so that's a manifold. It's one belt for the entire line. Half goes into this machine, half goes down that line, and then what'll happen is, when it hits here, half goes into that machine, half goes down that line. So you have half of the total belt going into this machine, then a quarter of the total belt going into that machine, and an eighth of the total belt going into that machine, right? And then a 16th going in there, all the way down until there's nothing left for the guy on the end. Until this first guy fills up. Then he only gets what he needs, what he uses, which is what you want him to have anyway, so who cares? You just have to wait until this fills up. That's all. So, manifolding takes longer to get started, but it takes a lot less space than the alternative, which is load balancing. And what we would do with load balancing, if we wanted to load balance, is I would take the line in like this, and I would build a splitter like this, okay? And this is how I used to do my stuff. And then I would build a splitter like this, okay? And like that, right? And this guy would go here, okay? And then I would build a splitter like this and like that, right? And then this guy would go here. See where I'm going with this? Right, that guy would go there, right? And then this guy would go into there. That guy would go into there. That guy would go into there, and then the other side of that one would go into there. Right, and so then you're evenly splitting your one belt of 120 coal into 260s and then 240s, right, and then 220s down to whatever you need. But it's usually unnecessary to do that. In general, for most applications, I think a manifold is great. It's easier to set up, it takes less space, and the only downside is it takes longer to get fully saturated. And so it's going to be a minute before we see all of these powering full blast. We should have 1200 power once we're fully up and manifolded. One thing I want to check, I want to make sure that I didn't miss a Mark II belt somewhere. There they are. Those are the ones I forgot. But why? So it's not gonna herky jerky anymore. Yeah, let's check this out. Look at that. This is a huge change, you guys. Guys, this is a huge change. I'm not sure if I like it. I mean, visually, I love it. Mechanically, trying to diagnose problems, this is gonna be hard to get used to. Do you guys see? This is a huge change. You see how we're going faster than that? But look, it's on a Mark II. It should be going the same speed. I'm on a Mark II. That's on a Mark II. Why am I going faster? Because it's blocked by a Mark I. So what that's doing is everything behind it is telling it the fastest it can go is 60. And so this is no longer feeding it at 120. What it would do before is jerky. We go, right? Because it's either going at 120 or it's blocked. That's changed now. Now it goes the speed at which it is allowed to go. And so I always looked for chugging for problems. Can you imagine how difficult diagnosing problems in my water packaging factory would be without the visual telltale of a chug? I wish I could turn this on or off. I wish I could be in debugging mode and see the chugging. Because how do you tell the difference here? How do you know you're getting the full amount? Before, I could tell if I was getting the full amount by making sure that there's no chugging. I replaced that and it instantly speeds up the whole thing. I guess you could check by having overflows. That's probably what I'll have to do. I have to build a bunch of overflows. I have to think about this. I'm not sure I like it. But anyway, it's all good. I'm not going to stress over it. I just want to make sure you guys know, because I certainly didn't know. This is done, you guys. This is done.
Thank you for watching episode 5. There's a link to the full episode playlist in the description.